Paul Warne has a major dilemma to deal with over the course of the back end of this transfer window, and that is Dejon Brown. For me, I think he's going to be a massively impressive player in the future, but what is going to happen to him this season? Now, I think that Dejon Brown has the ability to be in and around the Derby County squad, but is that the best for his development to be sitting on the bench for 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes and not touching a football field in a competitive fashion? Is it good enough that he could just play cup games? Is that enough? For me, I don't think so, and I'm going to get into why right now. But before I get into why I think Dejon Brown needs to be playing regular football, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell and smash the like button, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments about Dejon Brown and his future at Derby County come the end of this transfer window. Let me know your thoughts down below and let's get into the video. Now, it's a massive dilemma for Paul Warne because he's in a position where he needs a number 9. Now, we have Jerry Yates, James Collins, Connor Washington, Dejon Brown, Caden Jackson can play through the middle. But the problem that we do have is, where does he rank Dejon Brown in that list? Is he one of the top 3, where if Yates is out and Collins is out, is Dejon Brown going to start? And in my opinion, that is not the case. Now, it could be the case. He could start tonight as you're watching this video. But is he going to? In my opinion, the answer is not. And if you want to check out my team prediction, go and check out my match preview from yesterday. I went through my predictions and why I put players in certain areas. Now, for me, I think Dejon Brown needs to be playing 30 games this season. Now, I'm not saying he needs to start 30 games. I'm just saying he needs to play 30 games. And do I think he's going to get that at Derby County? I personally do not. I think we'd have to have a massive striker crisis for Paul Warne to call upon Dejon Brown as a starting number 9. Now, I think Dejon Brown can have many opportunities in professional football. I think he could absolutely become a top level EFL striker. But to be able to become that striker, he's got to play football. He's got to develop. Now, obviously, we know that Paul Warne gets an abundance of calls about Dejon Brown on a daily and weekly basis about loan spells. Now, I personally have 3 or 4 clubs in mind where I could see him going to get regular football and play in the EFL. And I think that's what's important. We've obviously seen what he did last season out on loan. What an impressive spell that was. Goal at Wembley, an assist at Wembley and scoring the winning penalty. Now, for me, Dejon Brown has to go either League 2 or League 1 and he has to be playing regularly. I don't think he needs guaranteed minutes. I do think he needs to earn it like he did when he went on loan to Gateshead last year. But he's not going to get 30 to 40 games for us. But where could he get 30 to 40 games? Now, the 4 clubs I've noted down are Chesterfield, the League 2 side, who have obviously just been promoted last season. We played them in pre-season, absolutely thumped us. We play them in the Cup next week. So I think that, in my opinion, would be a good place for him to go, where he can learn off a Will Grigg and maybe even partner Will Grigg as the season goes on. Obviously, he'll get a lot of the ball, he'll get a lot of chances, because I do think Chesterfield are going to be up and around the top areas of League 2 next season. The next club I've gone with is Notts County. Now, similar in the fact of Chesterfield is they got promoted 2 seasons ago to League 2. Last season didn't quite go as planned. They scored a ton of goals but just couldn't keep them out at the other end. I think they scored something like 88 and conceded 88, which is, it's absolutely like probably record breaking stuff really of amount of goals scored to conceded. Now, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League 1 content that's going to be heading your way over the course of this upcoming campaign. My Game Week 1 previews are already out, so go and check them out. They were released a couple of days ago. My Blackburn Rovers review is already out, and a video based on why I think the signing of Rohan Lufra is massively important. Make sure you go and check those videos out once you're done with this one, and I'll catch you in the next part of this video. Dejon Brown going into that side after they've lost Macaulay Langstaff. Now, I don't know how much they've replaced, but I do think that Dejon Brown could go in, earn a shot in a League Two club and play. Now, for me, if he's to go to a Chesterfield or a Notts County, I think it needs to be a 6-month loan, in my opinion, where we pull him back in January, or we reassess the situation over the course of January. You can stay with them through January and we reassess. Because I think if he then goes and has a really good 6 months in League Two, say scores 10, 11 in what do you have until January? 20 games, 23, 24 games before Christmas. Well, just after Christmas. If he can score 10 or 11 at that point, similar to Joe Taylor at Luton, what he did, then we need to move him on to a League One club, in my opinion. Now, some people say that a settled environment is probably better because he can play consistently, which I agree with. Yes, he needs to play consistently, but if he's to go into one of these League Two clubs and not necessarily play every game, but be effective, score goals, grab assists, then I think it's important that we make sure we keep up in the levels so that he keeps developing and keeps progressing. Now, I do think there's obviously a world where he could go to League One. And the clubs I've got for a potential League One move is Burton Albion and Mansfield Town. Now, I believe Mansfield Town need strikers. From looking through the Game Week 1 prediction with League One, I do think they're in need in that position. Now, do I think Dejon Brown will be the answer to their problems? Probably not. They obviously do have Lee Gregory. They do have an abundance of other strikers and attackers as well. But my other team is Burton Albion. Now, I think Burton Albion is more the risky one because obviously I think they've bought in 20 new players this off-season, which obviously then causes a problem with figuring out who fits where, who's going to be a bench player, who's going to be starters. So that's why I'd potentially do 6 months in League Two. If it all goes well, 6 months in League One, and sort of have the deals prepared as the season progresses and sort of go from there. Now, that's my opinion with Dejon Brown. I do think it's a dilemma that Paul Warne does have right now, and it's a dilemma which he really needs to solve over the course of the next few weeks. Now, I could be completely wrong, and he could go and play every single game for Derby County this season. He might not. He might play 20 or 30 games for us this year, but he also might not. And I think the importance is making sure that he does get minutes. He does play senior men's football, because I don't think that he's going to learn enough from playing for a 21 side. I don't think that's going to develop him. So that's my personal opinion. Obviously, over the course of the summer, there was interest in Dejon Brown for permanent transfers, I believe from Newcastle and Sunderland. Obviously, with his spell at Gateshead, it all makes sense. I believe he was watched a couple of times while he was there, so be interesting to see if that obviously develops further. But obviously, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I may be completely off piece, and you guys can let me know down there in the comment section. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and hit that like button. And if you have not done so already, go and check my Blackburn match preview. Go and check the Game Week 1 previews for League One and the Championship. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video, which will be the Derby County versus Blackburn matchday review. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.